prospect of a trip, even if it meant I might be going there to jump into some kind of family crisis. Back in the kitchen, I listened to her message once again. She'd said only that she had been thinking about me recently. I was probably getting way ahead of myself in planning a visit. At least it would now be after 7 in the morning for her, a time I could decently call without alarming her, not too much. I began by apologizing for the early hour. "Oh, Charlie, it's fine, absolutely fine. I was up and putting the kettle on." But I could hear her yawn through the connection. "Is everything all right?" I asked. "Quite. Spring was lovely, and the summer is shaping up quite well. I'm still doing my tours. Oh, next week I'm attending a symposium in London on the role of ghostly beings in crime detection. Wouldn't it be marvelous if you could come?" Aunt Louisa gives nighttime tours of the haunted sites in her small town. I could easily see how any conference on a ghostly topic would grab her attention. Kitchen sounds came through, water filling her electric kettle, the clink of a mug. "Actually, when I got your message, my first thought was how nice it would be to visit again," I admitted. "I haven't run the idea past Drake yet. It's the fire season here in New Mexico, and it could be that he'll be away for several weeks anyway." My mind was racing. There would be a lot of details to manage. What to do with Freckles if we were both gone at once was a main one. Was my passport up to date? How much more would an airline ticket cost on short notice? She was going on about the program and the dates of the symposium, and I jotted them down as these other thoughts ran through my head. "I've booked my room already," Louisa said. "You could fly into Heathrow, get the train to central London, and share my accommodations. A girls' trip to the city. How brilliant!" I reiterated that I had a lot of details to work out, but I had to admit her enthusiasm was contagious. I promised to get back to her within a day or so. By the time we ended the call, it was well after midnight, and I suddenly wasn't the least bit sleepy. As I feared, the plane ticket was a bit of a shocker on a last-minute itinerary, but I had some savings and decided the splurge would be fun. I put a ticket on hold for the last seat on the only flight that would get me there while Louisa was still in London. I wouldn't make the conference dates, but she would fill me in if I expressed an interest. It was more the prospect of hanging out with my vivacious aunt that appealed anyway. Finally, I tucked into bed beside Drake. Too many thoughts kept me from falling asleep, but I had 8 hours to confirm my flight. I could let him get his sleep and break this startling bit of news in the morning. As my eyes drifted shut at last, my final thought was at least Louisa had not been in dire need of my help with something. Silly fortune cookie. Chapter 2.
"I'm a little jealous,"
Drake admitted over breakfast that morning.
"Your aunt sounds like a fun person to spend some time with."
"Then come with me," I said, belatedly remembering I was holding on to the last ticket on the flight. He patted my hand across the table.
"Nope, you do it."
"You're sure? We can find a schedule that'll work."
I hadn't mentioned it yet, but I had a text this morning from Ben Hernandez at the Forest Service. Looks like they're going to send me to a fire down in Gila. I was waiting to tell you about it before I confirm with him, but I really should take the job. You know how that goes every year. Until the monsoons, these fires are going to start up. I need to be ready.
He didn't mention that the long hours and months of work provided a big chunk of his income for the year, too. If he wasn't here to take the job, the Forest Service would assign it to someone else, possibly an out-of-state operator. "You don't mind me being gone for 10 days?"
"Work out some arrangement for the dog," he reminded. "I can't take her with me. Dump the rest of your obligations and just go. You'll love it."
The rest of my obligations meant my partnership with my brother at RJP Investigations, and Ron already knew that I would take off any time I wanted. As long as the clients received and paid their bills, he didn't much care about the rest of my duties there. I picked up my phone and retrieved my airline reservation code, booked the flight, and swallowed hard as the charge hit my credit card. Once that was set, I texted